real, I'm happy as hell to be back, man. Like, I really miss my podcast so much. And I told myself, I was like, yo, when I get a chance, I'm going to get back to that thing. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I really, really, truly and love doing, y'all. No bullshit. But let me get my notes. This episode is episode 14. If you are new to this podcast, before I even get in, my name is Whitney Johnson. If you're new to this podcast, make sure you go back to the beginning because I want you guys to get a firm foundation of what this podcast means and what it stands for. I created the Mother Method, MUVAH. I created that method to help myself navigate through the challenges in motherhood. And I found that recently, while I'm going through a divorce, I'm learning to use my method still, and it's really helping me to navigate through the challenges that I'm facing while going through that. So if you haven't already, go back to the beginning episodes and watch the beginning episodes because they'll really help you get an understanding of what the Mother Method is and how I created it and why it's so important for the foundation of what this podcast really stands for. This podcast is not your regular podcast, y'all. We are a community of women who are striving to overcome, become, and be better. And we built a community that supports all of us in doing that. If you are down for the ride and you want to be a part of the crew, definitely head over to the Motherhood Circle on Facebook and you can find us there. I'll be dropping more tips, more lives, and more content over in the Motherhood Circle. So join me and all the other mothers in the Motherhood Circle on Facebook. And make sure you guys also subscribe to the Mother May I podcast because y'all know I like to talk my mess. And I like to say my shit. So make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. Make sure that you are liking, you are sharing, and you are making sure that people hear this content. Okay? So today is episode 14 of the Mother May I podcast, y'all. And today I want to talk about the entire New Year thing. Mainly because a lot of times people around this time of year, it's January, everybody has the new year, the new you type of thing going on. And that's cool. I'm not knocking anybody for doing that. But I think that one of the things that we're missing is that a date on a calendar does not necessarily guarantee that you're going to make a complete U-turn in your life, right? Because just because the date on the calendar says that now things are new and we have started over, that does not mean that the work is automatically going to happen. You have to do something to make that happen. A day on the calendar is not going to make that happen. It starts with yourself, right? And so this podcast is mainly me sharing some of the things that I've done, some of the things that I've learned through that process in hopes of it helping someone else. Because like for me, when I needed help through a lot of these challenges and things like that, it was hard for me to find the resources and the tools that I needed to do the inner work. Like it was easy for people to tell me the things I needed to do on the outside, but when it came to me working on myself on the inside, it was hard to find those type of resources. A lot of people think that when a new year comes, things are going to be changing, and that's not necessarily true. Like for myself, right? Going into the new year, I had to go into the new year a totally different version of myself. In the beginning of this year, I was a married woman. I had my 3 kids, you know what I'm saying? We had our home, we were doing the things, and on the outside looking in, things probably look like the perfect family, you know, doing your thing, whatever, but things didn't turn out that way, and I'm now going through a divorce, which is cool. I've learned to accept that and move forward with that. But I think the biggest thing for me now is understanding how I can be a better mother. How can I be a better woman moving forward, knowing that this is something traumatic and serious that I've had to heal from and go through on my own. And I want to also say, guys, when you going through the process of healing and working on becoming a better version of yourself, don't ever think that you have to do it the way that other people say that it has to be done. Like, who the hell can tell you how to heal? How the fuck can they tell you what you need to do to make you a better person? The only person that can tell you how to make you a better person is yourself. And the moment you stop listening to yourself is the moment that you become a product of what somebody else wants you to be. Always stay true to what you want on the inside. And I know that sometimes people have the best interest for you and they want this and that, but you have to do what's best for yourself. And that's why when it comes to healing, I say that because a lot of times people think that healing is this thing that you could just fit into a box. Oh, just do this, that, and you're good. It's not like that. Like, there are things that may work for this person that may not work for another person. There's things that may work great, but they may be modified for yourself. Whatever it is, you have to figure out that groove, but the only way you figure out that groove is by starting. And a lot of times people wait for this new year, they wait for the new opportunities before they start. And my thing to y'all is, just start. It does not matter if the new year's here. It doesn't matter if everything's perfect. Like, look at me start my podcast in a brand new location. It's not the same setup as the last time, but guess what? We gonna keep it pushing. Why? Because things need to be said. This content needs to be shared. Whether or not it's the most whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing this because I want to restore hope in those who have gone through something similar to myself, so that they have the tools and resources to move forward with themselves. And my thing is, it's not about me. It's about me being able to be the vessel to support somebody else and overcome the things that they're going through. So if these steps or these tips or these resources help you, then by all means, sis, this was for you. And I'm so thankful that I'm able to share this to help you through that. And listen, y'all, that's another reason why I created the Motherhood Circle, because contrary to what people may believe, it's better when we all come together and we can share, support each other collectively as a group. And so there may be something that you're good at, somebody else is good at, or what have you. We create this community so that we all can flourish and back off of each other, because there's things that I don't know that you may know and you may know and I don't know and da 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 da. But it's okay. We build this community so we can all learn and we can do what we gotta do, y'all. So that's it for the Motherhood Circle. But I just really wanted y'all to understand that a day on the calendar does not necessarily dictate how things are going to change for you. You have to decide how things are going to change for you. And you have to realize that your healing is not necessarily universal. It ain't even something that somebody can tell you how to do or navigate through. There's no way that anybody can tell you how to navigate through your healing. You have to figure out how to navigate through your healing. But the first step is to understand that you have to heal, and that is okay. A lot of times what people do is push themselves past the hurt, keep pushing themselves through the pain, and that may work, but sometimes you have to pause, accept what has happened, and find out your way of navigating through that situation. Because a lot of times when you keep pushing and you don't take that time out to pause and reflect, you miss the opportunity to find clarity, you miss the opportunity to find guidance, and you miss that little nudge from your intuition that tells you if you're doing something that is going to support you and where you want to be or not. And so that's why I say it's important to take the time out to rest, because a lot of people look at rest like, oh, you know, you're being lazy, you're being unproductive, you da 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 da. But don't ever view rest as that way. A lot of times rest is the most strategic thing you can do, especially if you want to get your mind to a place where it's actually clear and you can actually do something that does not involve you being like, well, what? Let me question this. Let me think about this. Let me think about that. You actually are in a space where your mind is no longer racing. Your mind is no longer scattered with a whole bunch of thoughts, because you've allowed it to rest and reset. You have to allow yourself to do that if you plan to move forward. So don't sleep on rest. Oh, bars. Don't sleep on rest, baby. You need some rest. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that I took back from this whole New Year thing. Like, a lot of people say, oh, New Year, I'm going in hard. I'm going to push. I'm going to this and that. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Do what your thing. Do your thing. I'll never knock nobody for hustling and doing their thing. But my thing is, if you are not in a space to be okay, don't let society and the world tell you that you have to do something that is not supporting you and where you want to be. Period. So if they hustling and they this and they that, and you need a time to relax, take a break, take a breather, and reset, then by all means do that. Nobody can tell you how to heal. No one can tell you how to move forward. No one can tell you how to be better. The only person that can tell you that is yourself. And the moment you start listening to other people is the moment you become a product of who they want you to become. And my thing is this is another thing I want y'all to take away from this, right? In order for you to be this new version of yourself like you want to be, you have to realize that you can't be the flower that you want to be when you're planted in soil that is full of toxicity. Like, you ever try to see, have y'all ever seen a plant prosper in a garden that has, see, I'm a gardener. Y'all know I love plants. I love my plants. So this example is based on plants. So if you're not a plant person, just roll with me, because I'm taking this somewhere, right? Let's say you have some plants that you're planting, right? And the soil, hold on, Flash. And the soil is tainted. The soil is not good. It's really bad. It's molded. It's this. You trying to now plant your seeds in that type of soil, and you're hoping that it grows, and you're hoping that it becomes something great. Child, that thing ain't going nowhere. It's not going to prosper. Why is that plant not going to prosper? Because the soil is not the right foundation for it to grow like it needs to grow. A lot of times we're trying to grow in environments that we should have been left a long time ago. And now you're wondering why you're in the same cycle. A lot of times we put ourselves in these cycles because we stay in the same environments that don't support us mentally, spiritually, emotionally, or anything along those lines. We just stay because it's convenient, because it's easy, because it seems like the right thing to do. Don't do that. You cannot prosper in soil that is tainted. You're going to have to move to somewhere where the soil is popping, baby, because you're not going to grow. If you a flower, look at my shirt. If y'all a flower trying to grow, baby, you can't grow in soil that is not supportive of the type of flower you trying to become. So you sitting here trying to grow around people who are not even on the same wave and not even trying to grow themselves. So how you going to grow? Your soil, your foundation, your things that are around you don't support the level that you say you want to be on. And you're wondering why you're not growing. And this is not just for other people, yo. This is for me, myself, and I too. Because these are the self-reflection things that I ask myself. These are the self-reflection things that I've had to go through and especially navigate through coming into the new year. Like I really had to ask myself that. Like, how do you expect yourself to prosper with soil that does not support you in growing into the rose, the flower, the sunflower, the whatever version of me that I want to be? Why am I in this type of soil if I say I want to be that? So you have to start doing some self-reflection when it comes to stuff like that. Like, what am I really spending my time doing? And is that supportive of the woman that I say I want to be in this new year? Because a day on the calendar don't mean shit if you're not going to do the work. Period. So if you're not going to do the work, then a new year is not going to magically come and things change for you. It doesn't work that way. You're going to have to do some work. That's just period what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for this episode, y'all. I just wanted to basically make this episode about how I decided to come into the new year, celebrate this new year with you guys, and really start getting a handle on being more consistent with my podcast because I missed you all or whatever. So that's it for this episode. You guys make sure you tune in for episode 15. We will be dropping these podcasts every week. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like. Make sure you share this podcast out to your homegirls and meet us in the Motherhood Circle. We are a community of moms on the trail towards becoming better women and navigating through motherhood. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time.